What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing today? Hope you're excited because today we're back with another top 5 Young Guns video with the NHL season starting just next week. Yes, it's already here. Some games will be played overseas next week that count towards the regular season. This will be the last top 5 Young Gun video heading into the season, but I do top 5 Young Guns videos during the season as well. So if you enjoy these videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Change your mind at any time. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. It really helps me grow the channel, helps me reach a wider audience. And comment down below your top 5 Young Guns from 2019, 2020 heading in the next season. What Young Guns from this class do you think are going to go up? My list isn't the right list. It's just my list. I want to see your guys' list down in the comments below. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at our sports card. As per usual, this is not financial advice. Please invest in sport cards at your own risk. All graphs and sales comps will be courtesy of Sport Card Investor, not a sponsor or anything, but please keep in mind those sales prices you'll be seeing are for PSA 10 Young Guns in US dollars. Kicking off this list at number 5 is going to be probably the sleeper pick of this list, probably the pick you don't expect. It's actually going to be Barrett Hatton of the Utah Hockey Club. Now, Barrett Hatton was a very highly touted young prospect when he was drafted back in Arizona. I was never crazy about Hatton's cards because, of course, he played in Arizona, but now that they moved to Utah, I'm curious to see what the hockey card market for Utah players is going to be like. See if Barrett Hatton can emerge as a real star on this team. Now, of course, he'll have to compete with Logan Cooley. We'll have to see how that goes. But currently, he's projected to play on the top line. We'll see if that sticks, if Cooley passes him or not. But yeah, Barrett Hatton should be a big part of this offense. Barrett Hatton was selected 5th overall by the Arizona Coyotes back in 2018. So I still think there's some gas in the tank for Barrett Hatton to improve his game. Now, last year, he did only register 10 points in 33 games due to injury. The year before, 43 points in 82 games. So this is kind of just me saying I could see a big leap in Hatton's game this year. He'll probably have top power play deployment. He'll be a top 6 forward in this Utah Hockey Club for sure. It'll be interesting to see. His Young Guns are pretty dang cheap, so it's another good reason he's on this list. Take a look, like I said, Barrett Hatton currently projected to play on the top line with Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz. Logan Cooley on that second line center, though, is, of course, threatening to take Barrett Hatton's spot. I think that's a real possibility. But if Barrett Hatton can stay being the number 1 center on this team and have a real breakout season, I think this Young Guns could definitely go up in value. This is the main reason I like Barrett Hatton into the next season. His Young Guns are dirt cheap. Sport Card Investor doesn't even have a graph for him. There's so little PSA 10 sales of Barrett Hatton. As you can see, one went for $28. They're kind of all over the place. $17.50 US for a PSA 10 Young Guns. That's pretty dang good. You can find his raw Young Guns for $3 to $5. And even if Barrett Hatton gets back to like 50 points, I think he'll become like a $10, $15 Young Gun. So if you get a group of Barrett Hatton Young Guns for $5, you're doubling your money right there. So I do like Hatton in the next season, but I don't think he's going to light the world on fire or anything. All right, up next at number 4, when I was looking at this Young Gun crop, I thought to myself, wow, every single good offensive defenseman in the league seems like they're in this Young Gun crop. I typically don't like to include defensemen on these lists, but Noah Dobson has to be on this list of the New York Islanders. Now, he is down here at number 4 because of that New York Islanders market. It's not the best for hockey cards. It's not awful. And the style of play, they're a very defensive-heavy team. They're not really flashy offensive, so they don't get a too much look when it comes to like high-end hockey cards, but Noah Dobson, one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. He's going to get everything on the power play. He's going to be the anchor on this blue line, and I just really love his game. I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far from Dobson. Taking a look at his point totals from last year: 70 points in 79 games as a defenseman. Absolute offensive breakout explosion. He's going to be the power play guy on this Islanders team. Now, the Islanders unfortunately won't score a ton of goals, I don't think their offense is really that great, but if Dobson can get to a point per game, I think his Young Guns does have a chance to increase in value. Now, I'm not going to show the lineup for the defensemen on this list. Yeah, there's going to be more than one defenseman on this list, because we know their role. He's going to be the number 1 guy on this blue line. He's going to get all the power play time, and that's what we want with hockey cards because we want that offensive upside. I think he could get to a point per game. I think that's a real possibility, and if he does, I do think these cards could increase in value. Just like Barrett Hatton, there's no graph for Dobson with that for whatever reason, but here are the recent comps on his PSA 10 Young Guns, and yeah, I think they're pretty fair. We'll see what Dobson does heading in the next year. All right, up next at number 3 is going to be a guy everyone expects to be on this list, another defenseman here. It's going to be Cale Makar, the Colorado Avalanche. What more is there to say about Cale Makar? It's pretty clear he's kind of the best defenseman in the league right now, especially offensive-wise. Now, Cale Makar, my only concern with Makar would be what more could he do to really drive up his value any more than it is, because he's already accomplished so much. Now, if he does go on and have like another Norris level season, if the Avalanche go on another cup run, I definitely think this card will increase in value, and that is why it's on this list. If he has a bit of a slower season, I could definitely see this card decreasing in value a little bit. but I highly doubt that happens because Cale Makar is an absolute stud. Looking at his stats, just absolutely crazy. Over a point per game throughout his career, 90 points last season. Cale Makar, I expect nothing less. I do think it is possible he could have a 100-point season as a defenseman. If that were to happen, I definitely think this card would go up in value. Do I think it's likely? Probably not, but I think it's in the realm of outcomes for sure. Cale Makar does have a graph here. As you can see, a high sale 536 USD, a low sale around 390 USD. Pretty wide range there. Cale Makar is the most expensive modern, like, actively playing defenseman in the hobby, so it would take a pretty big season from Makar to really drive his card up in value. But like I said earlier, he's generational talent. I think he's capable of it, and I think his card has a decent chance to go up in value next season. Up next at number 2 is actually, guess what, guys? It's going to be another defenseman. I usually never put defenseman on this list, but Quinn Hughes has to be on this list. There are so many good offensive defensemen in the 2019-2020 young and crop, and Quinn Hughes is one of those defensemen. Now, of course, I think Cale Makar is better than Quinn Hughes, but I think Quinn Hughes has more room to grow. One, because of his market. The Vancouver card market and Vancouver hockey market in general is crazy. So if the Canucks were going to go on a deep playoff run, if Quinn Hughes was going to go on and win like the Norris again, for example, I think his cards would definitely go up in value, and they're not as highly priced as Makar's, so I think there's more room for Quinn Hughes' cards to grow. Now, looking at Quinn Hughes' stats from last year when he won the Norris, 92 points in 82 games, I think he's well capable of that, and I think he's capable of reaching 100 points like Cale Makar. I really think if he did that, his cards would go insane, and I think if the Canucks were to go on a deep playoff run, they would also jump in value, while a team like Colorado, if they were to go on the same playoff run, like say the Canucks and the Avalanche both meet the conference finals, I think the Canucks cards like Quinn Hughes will go up more than the Cale Makar cards. Obviously, it does depend on how they're playing and stuff like that, but I just think there's more room for Quinn Hughes' cards to grow. Taking a look at Quinn Hughes' graph, we can see here that it is much lower than Cale Makar's, and it should be, because Cale Makar is that generational talent. He's got the championship. If Quinn Hughes can get to that level, I think his cards could go up to the level of Cale Makar's, maybe even higher if the Hughes go on, win a Stanley Cup, win a Norris this next season, and he's a big name in hockey. The Hughes brothers are some of the biggest names in hockey, and Quinn Hughes, that exposure is good for his cards, so a lot of people know who he is, and a lot of people are going to want his cards if he were to win that championship. All right, before we discuss the number 1 spot, let's get into our honorable mentions as per usual. Honorable mentions that just missed this list: Carter Verhaeghe, Adam Fox, Kirby Duck, Caden Primo, Oliver Wahlstrom, Elvis Merzlikins, Morgan Frost, Nick Suzuki, Joel Farabee, Jakob Trenin, and Igor Shesterkin all just missed this list, but I do like their cards for different reasons. Let me know your list down in the comments below. Number 1 on this list, it's going to be Jack Hughes. It just has to be Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, I think, just has the biggest upside heading the next year. We haven't seen that, like, heart level season from Jack Hughes that I think he's totally capable of him just taking over the league. I think at some point in his career, that's going to be Jack Hughes. Look at his point total: 74 points in 62 games last season, 99 points in 78 the year before. We'll see if he can get that 100-point mark this coming season, and I do think there's a Hart Trophy in his career at some point, and if it's next year, his card's going to go up in value. And of course, Jack Hughes is going to be playing on the top line and the top power play of this New Jersey Devils offense. The entire team is built around him. He's their franchise centerman. No need to worry about deployment with Jack Hughes. And take a look at his graph: a low point of 199 US, a high point of 239 US, right in the realm of where I expect him to be, but I do think he's capable of more. I do think he's capable of more offensive production, and I'm excited to see how the Devils do next year. If they can get back in the playoffs, go on a run, I think that will definitely help his cards in value. That's going to do it here for this list. Please subscribe if you did enjoy. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Let me know your list down in the comments below. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.